Today we're going to take a look at a 3000 plus Elo team here in the current Retro Cup. I want to try out the Grumpig anyway, because this Pokemon actually got buffed this season. With Shadow Ball now being cheaper, this Pokemon is going to have a little bit more play as well. And so let's take a look today on if this Pokemon is so strong and how this team generally functions. And funnily enough, actually I faced quite a bit of Froslass today. A Pokemon that I haven't really seen prior. Also a Pokemon again that got buffed this season, as Shadow Ball is easier able to be reached, as well as Powder Snow got buffed as well. This Pokemon is going to do more damage, as well as going to be able to get faster to its hard-hitting moves, so it's a very solid Pokemon. We're going to be able to get the shield early on from the opponent. I can use a shield here as well. It's going to be an avalanche, of course, but we can go for the Meteor Beam as soon as, okay, now I sub out into the Hakama-O, which is going to allow us to go for some damage, but we kind of have to utilize our other Pokemon now, and here I feel like I made a bit of a mistake. I should have went into my Grumpig, because Grumpig does actually resist the damage. Well, I take super effective damage here. My first thought process was just, okay, I want to get rid of my Dragon type and Dragon Flying type Pokemon if they have an Ice type Pokemon on the back. But I do feel like that I could have maybe utilized my Grumpig a little bit better here in this specific scenario in order to gain a little bit more momentum. But I'm still going to be able to knock out the opponent's Froslass here by going for another Weather Ball. Now it depends on what they have in the back, and it's going to be the Hakama-O, and with that, it's a guessing game. If they go for upper hand, they have a very solid chance of winning this battle, but they go for the Clanging Scales, which means I can just farm them all the way down, or go for the Dynamic Punch, which is what I'm going to do now. Dynamic Punch is going to get the shield here very likely, but I should be able to reach another one. Okay, I'm not going to be able to reach another one time. They're forced to go for another Clanging Scales, which is going to be enough to knock us out, but one more fast move is all it takes, and we can win this battle. Very close first battle, but that doesn't mean that this is going to be always the case. So we're going to have here Ferret against us, a Pokemon that is known for being quite bulky, quite annoying, quite fast. The moves has amazing coverage, but in comes here now the opponent's Altaria. And Altaria? I want to say Altaria, but no, we actually have the Grumpig coming in. The opponent's Cresselia, of course, nearly the same. But we're going to be able to go for the Shadow Ball against the opponent, which is going to do some super effective damage. And we also, what we see as well, is that A, they're not running the recommended moveset, they're not running Confusion, they're running Psycho Cut, which is generating energy a bit faster. But also B, we kind of got them super low enough that we would have been able to farm down if they didn't swap out. But they swap out into the Ferret, and I'm actually quite alright with that, as we hit that Meteor Beam here. Crucial hit. I didn't go for a bait here, even though they still have 2 shields left, because now I am boosted. Even if they go into Cresselia, I can farm them down most likely. They go into the Grumpig, which is the final Pokemon, and I can play that out beautifully, because they have a double super effective move against me, but I know that they very likely want to go for that one very soon. I go for the Meteor Beam here, just if I get somehow the move off, I will knock them out. But they actually sub out into the Cresselia, well done from the opponent. But I can kind of retaliate here as well by going into my Altaria on the perfect timing for them to go for the Dynamic Punch, resist the damage, and with that we can win guaranteed. The opponent is too low in order to take our fast move pressure from both of our Pokemon. As well as we see as well, the opponent is not going to be able to knock us out here anytime soon. We can just go ahead and go for a Sky Attack, get the shield, and now I don't even really need to use a shield here, but I'm still going to get to my move anyway in time, so good game to the opponent. We are going to be able to now move on to the next one, where we will face the Shadow Kingdra in the lead. This is going to be a matchup where we can just stay in, where we are just going to be able to go for those Weather Balls against them, and this is looking quite solid for us. Weather Ball is going to do some solid damage, and we can try our best to go for yet another one. And by the way, this is going to be coming out on Sunday on my earlier video. There's going to be later on a video towards the Rillaboom, and definitely stay tuned for that one. I'm not sure which league I'm going to take a look at it yet. I kind of really would like to take a look at it in the Master League even, like in the Master Premier Cup. But Rillaboom Community Day is going to be today. I made a video already yesterday, if you haven't seen it, with some top teams, with some just general guide towards the Community Day. So if you haven't seen that yet, I would really appreciate if you would check that one out, especially if it's before the Community Day for you, but even if it's after. There are some teams that you can run for it, and maybe also the reason why you maybe would want to really play the Community Day, because I do think that Rillaboom actually has quite some potential for the future at least. Anyway, that was kinda next course. We're gonna be able to win here against the opponent's Shadow Charizard. Okay, Rage Drago lead, and I make a big mistake. This is actually the first battle that I did with this team. This was the very first battle that I did, and I could have played it so much better. I went to my Grumpig. Grumpig guaranteed wins this matchup. There's no way that Grumpig wouldn't be able to win this matchup, because yes, we can take a super effective Rage Fist, but we are going to have so much more fast move pressure, which Altaria just lacks. Altaria has a lower attack stat, and B has a fast move that does less damage, I think, as well. And C has, yeah, basically not the super effective stab onto it. So, like, that is kind of something that just would add up more into the Primeape, and with it I just put myself into a very bad position. Like, I am now energy behind. I have to call that this is going to be an Exeter, not the Rock Wrecker. It is going to be luckily the Exeter, like we're kind of in our right spot here still. We can hopefully go for the knockout here, but still at this point we kind of screwed ourselves over by how we played it, as they still have the Primeape here, forcing me to go for another charge move, and at this specific second there, they're going to be able to just farm us down. Regidrago is here, and even if I got another move here, it's not going to be enough to knock them out. So good game to the opponent. Could have played it a bit better. I should have just went into my Grumpig. I just thought, okay, yeah, fine type Pokemon, let's go to a Flyer, but that was just not the right choice here. Okay, Licky Licky coming in. I should most likely keep my Auroras with a bit of energy just for later on, because Crossel actually is going to be quite difficult for the team. This team itself, of course, like we stole this as we saw in the beginning as well. Yeah, this team specifically is going to be a bit tough for Cresselia. Like, this is, I can talk a little bit about this team in general as well. I did 3 sets with this team, a total. I went a total, I think, of 9 and 6. And 5 of those losses came from 1 set. So I went, I think, 4 and 1, 0 and 5, and then 5 and 0. Which is hilarious, because it kind of showcases as well, like, I was just quite unlucky in the 1 set there, like, where we lost everything. I was super unlucky with this team, and that is fine, like, that is okay. But generally speaking, this team is actually amazing. I think this team is fantastic. I think Grumpig is a very interesting pick, especially with a buff on it. I think it's a team that you should definitely give a try. But yeah, I had this 1 set where I really got destroyed by this team. But like, this is the thing as well, I feel like it's kind of a good lesson for people that try to climb with certain teams or whatever. If you kind of think this team that you're playing right now, you believe in them and you think it's actually kind of solid, but you just barely lose, like there's some certain very weird things that are happening in order to make you lose, just stick with it. Just stick with it, see on how things are going to go. I had so many times already that I had teams that went 0 and 5 and then went 5 and 0 for the next set there as well. But it really depends on the team. Like, if the team makes sense on paper, okay, then you can give it a try still. If the team is just absolute nonsense and you just want to have some fun and then they surprisingly go 0-5, then just, of course, don't go with it. Anyhow, we're going to take a look at a perfect lead, actually. Let's hop out into Toxic Croak, a Pokemon I haven't seen in ages. But we actually have to be a bit mindful. And I think now in hindsight, I should have not went for the Shitty. I think it was just too fast. They would have access to Shadow Ball, which of course is going to be devastating against a Grumpig. But we're going to be able to align ourselves now. And they reveal that they have the Dragonite still in the back and also the Oranguru now. And I have perfect alignment. I can tell you already at this point, we can skip forward a little bit. This game is over. Like, because, again, there is nothing they can really do. I have still my Grumpig with a lot of energy, which is going to be pressuring the Oranguru to Sony, but I'm also going to have my Altaria, which is hard-walling any kind of move that the opponent's Oranguru has. The only move that you don't resist is, I think, Mirror Coat, which is one of the worst moves in the game. And then we have, of course, an Ice type against a Dragon and Flying type. Alright, next opponent, great lead for ourselves. Oranguru comes in, and I make a bit of a mistake here. I feel like because I think the timing was quite off from this move. I should have went for like one more fast move or whatever. I thought I was for the right time, but I think I just mostly just screwed it up. I think I just went one too early. But I can now go actually into not my safe stop. I decided to go into my Altaria because Altaria is bulkier and Altaria can take those hits a bit easier here right now as the Brutal Swings are coming in and they are firing them off non-stop. But that's totally okay because, again, Grumpig actually is not the greatest matchup against the Oranguru. I rather have here my Altaria against Pokemon. I can just take the moves. Like, it really doesn't matter to me. Like, the Brutal Swing comes in here, I'm still going to be able to reach another move, but they gotta get to their own move, and I just take this as an opportunity to get more energy now. This time around, I go into my Grumpig though, because I kind of want to get some more, I feel like Grumpig has a better coverage. They're going to reveal here in the back, they're going to have the Annihilape, and I'm gonna be able to go for one move, and I should hopefully be able to reach another move in time, but I can't actually. The opponent knocks me out in just 5 counters, which means my only other win con now is actually 2 things. First off, I have to farm down. I have to farm down, that's fine. But now, either like if a bit of fast move damage and the dynamic punch is enough, or if I need to go for 2 dynamic punches, that they just go for the drill pack. I call the bait or something like this, and then I win. Something like this would work out. But as you can see, the toucan is so frail, we're just going to be able to farm down anyway, no matter what. And we can move on to the next opponent. Grumpig and Elite, of course, not going to be ideal, and this is honestly one of the worst possibilities you can imagine for this team. Because they have a double super effective coverage, of course, in the Dynamic Punch, which they reach quite fast, which is quite annoying here. But not only this, they're also going to be very good against my Say-Stop at least. Like, my Say-Stop is going to be my own Grumpig, but they have access to Shadow Ball. So, like, I cannot just, like, go ahead and, like, blind swap into my mirror matchup and hope for the best, because whenever I do that, I'm always going to be a little bit behind against the opponent. So, I try to utilize my Auroras as much as possible. We are going to be able to go for the Weather Ball against them as well. They're super, super low now. We are actually quite similar in terms of our HP, but I am going to be able to actually catch that Dynamic Punch onto my own Grumpig, which is already quite impressive, because like catching this move is quite difficult. And I swap out into the Jumpluff, revealing basically their final Pokemon. Jumpluff is a Pokemon that really wants to have energy at this point, because they still have Auroras that they have to kind of fear. But as you will see, we are going to be able to go for a Shadow Ball, get them lower and lower. And they're forced to still go for a hard-hitting move to us. And I want to swap out of here to keep all my Pokemon alive, but that didn't work out. That's fine here. They're going to go for the Acrobatics. They're going to knock me out here. That is okay. And we can go into our Altaria. I know the other one would have done some super effective damage. Maybe we would have been able to knock them out as well. But Auras there is a bit too risky. They're very likely going to run Energy Ball, and I don't really want to use a shield there again yet. And so I can now go up against the opponents. Oh, we don't have shields anyway, so like that doesn't matter. We can go up against the Fiero. There's going to be a Drill Peck coming in, going to knock us out, them out, and they forfeit there. Okay, Froslass against us. That is going to be, again, like I said before, like we actually faced this Pokemon multiple times now, which is kind of funny because I haven't really seen it prior. And they go to the Medicham, which is honestly a very good matchup for Grumpig. Grumpig itself is, by the way, a very good Say-Stop in this matter. Like, it's one of the best Say-Stops because of the coverage that you have. You have coverage against basically everything that you kind of don't want to face with it, which is cool. And of course, with the current Pokemon banned, like the Dark types, the Steel type Pokemon banned as well, it's just going to be better for the Grumpig because those are Pokemon that are difficult to deal with. Yes, you have Dynamic Punches coverage, but still, it's not the same. It's not stab. It's just like going to be a worse matchup for yourself. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be it for this one. We're going to have the Shadow Ball coming in against the opponent's Medicham. Do we shield or not? We do shield here, which is a bit risky because I could still get to another move in time. Let's see. Now we should be able to go for the Shadow Ball. Now we have alignment ourselves, which is amazing. So, like, I will gladly take that. This is going to be the Medicham going down. A Pokemon that honestly was so good back in the day, but then kind of completely fell off. In comes Auroras, in comes the opponent's Poryrath, and I know at this point again, I win this battle, as long as I'm going to be able to knock them out here with the Altaria, which is going to be a bit tough because I have Icy Wind, of course, dropping our attack, and the gas very low, but we can go for the super effective Sky Attack, you know, which is going to do some solid damage. We try our best to go for the full farm down, which works out beautifully, and then comes Froslass again, where I can go for the Media Beam, which will work out perfectly as well. Like, I'm going to be able to knock them out here, there's no doubt about that. The Shadow Ball's coming in, this is going to be able to knock out the Froslass, and we can move on to the final battle for today, where we have a Drifblim in the lead. And by the way, if you are a long-time viewer, it's been 4 years since I've done a Road to Glory, and I kind of was thinking, I don't know if you're interested in this as well, let me know down below as well, especially for the people that are actually watching still to the end. You're the MVPs as well here, by the way, shoutouts to you all. Let me know down below if you would like to see a series like this again. For the people who don't know that and who are just new to the channel, I started a series back in the day, like 4 years ago, basically, where I tried one season to reach the highest rank legend there with a completely new account. And I got it done quite easily, actually quite early as well, without actually being able to check the IVs and everything. Like, there's an entire series on my channel towards it, but I kind of want to bring it back. And with the same account, basically with the Pokemon that I had the last time already as well, and then just try to build up from that. If you're interested in this one, let me know down below. Would be for the new season anyway. They have a lot of stuff planned for the new season, by the way. I saw some people as well commenting about, like, how this season is quite always kind of the same, and trust me, there is a lot of effort that I can put in towards things that you haven't seen yet that are coming up on this channel whenever we have the new season. Like, I've been getting a lot of ideas as well for things, so like, definitely trust me, it's worth it to subscribe to this channel. There's going to be a lot coming up. I want to do more videos as well towards, like, for example, yesterday with the Grookey Community Day guide, stuff like this. I kind of want to do more things like this. Definitely stay tuned for that. When I have more time, it's going to be even easier for me as well, which is going to be hopefully soonish. So yeah, again, sorry for that. I just saw a lot of comments towards that on Reddit. I read all of your comments, by the way. Trust me, I read them all. Yeah, generally, I'm always kind of interested in helping the community as much as possible. But that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.